Hey, it's a holiday. Most of you are probably outside, hopefully in the sun like I was, but I came inside because this is important to discuss. If you have a child going back to school like I do tomorrow, or if you started already and you're really feeling confused, I thought it would be nice rather to hop on with a teacher and sort of see if we can get some tips from her on how to handle things with your kid going back to school in this alternate universe. And I think it's hard for any parent. It's really disorienting for working parents that are at home. And it's just confusing on everybody. So she's been doing this a while, and just full disclosure, she is an educator that has worked with my daughter, and she's done wonders for her. So hey, Susie Betron, say hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. And we'll dive into it because first I want to actually talk to you about how teachers are feeling. Why don't you can talk to me about how you're feeling, but also what your colleagues are thinking, because sometimes I think we're not thinking the other side of the equation. So how are you feeling about tomorrow, and how are you even prep for this?
I am all about the kids, so I'm really excited to meet the kids, but it's so difficult, and I don't feel, we just are so technologically not where the kids are, and just the things that we've had to learn and the different platforms we've just been thrown in the last 5 days um, is crazy. And they're all great ideas, but there hasn't been any time to practice, and I haven't had a child to practice on. And it's difficult. And I, of course, got changed last week. I was teaching science, and now I'm teaching writing and grammar and word study, which I was teaching anyway because that was already in our classroom. So I was teaching it to my own class, but now I'm teaching it to all 3 fifth grades.
And now I'm sure that's the thing for so many teachers. It's just things have changed, demands, curriculums, and all of that. So when you go back tomorrow, you'll be live, but a lot of students won't be. We're all doing this either first, remote session or hybrid schedule. And I guess, where do you start with your child? Because we did this back in March. We started this, and I think, they adjusted, and we gave them a lot of leeway because this was all new, but now it actually counts again, And
Yes.
What's the best way a parent could be, I guess, the most supportive to a child who has to start this all over again?
Well, in our district, and I believe should be in most districts, is that we were told that we had to. Last year it wasn't that the kids had to be on at a certain time. Now it's a regular school day, so the kids that are hybrid, that are in school live, are there, but the children at the same time need to be live at home. Now we've gone 1-to-1 with Chromebooks so that everybody has one. It used to be that I couldn't tell them at the time because I didn't know if the family had one computer for everybody who was working, for the parents and the siblings and everybody. So now it is that everybody goes on, and I start with a morning meeting at 8:55 or 9:05, or whatever district that you're in elementary school that is. And then I start with a morning meeting, and then I could say, okay, everybody do your morning work. Your do nows are up here, so they can see the people that are on the meet. And then they will go and do the work, and then they will come back at 9:45 to do reading.
So do you think like hovering over as a parent is a better way to handle this, or leave them alone, or what is, now that they have to be accountable to a schedule again, which I think is great, in my opinion, because I think it was a little, strange in the past when you could just log on whenever. What kind of role does a parent, or should a parent be playing? You don't want to be doing everything for them, but you want to support them because this is an alternate universe.
I would start with them in the beginning so that they and you can get used to the routine. But then I would walk away because you can't be the helicopter parent. And I would make sure that everything gets done, and I would ask through the first week or so. But it's really important. The first thing is that make sure that they're on everything, because now we're using Google Meet where before we were using Zoom. So I'm not sure that everything's working. And they gave the kids Chromebooks, and whatever's left is what the teachers are using to do Google Meet. So I have to make sure that the kids, that it's not background noise, or that they're making noise within each other. the computers. I don't know. And I mean, I'm hoping that it gives us time to get used to it. So then eventually I could do breakout rooms so that I could be with small groups and do it with them. But they need to teach us how to do that first. They don't even have that on Google Meet yet. So
I think we're all learning at the same time. I mean, what's
yeah.
also some advice I would say about keeping your kid engaged and socialized, because everything's different, and of course they're discouraging, groups and group hangouts, and I think we've all done our own thing over the summer. But
Yes.
I guess to keep them, if they're in a school setting where they have to be apart and they can't really be talking much, and all of that, I mean, how do you keep a kid learning how, or feeling comfortable with how to talk to somebody, if they're being told kind of not to?
I would, and again, this is just me, and I'm also a parent, so I would have the same feelings. I would try to have my child make a plan with others, either when they're in school or out of school, that at 7:30 at night, before they go to sleep, maybe they could all check in and see how their day was, and they could have almost like a circle time. Let them have a discussion. Let them sit and talk about everybody like they're going to do anyway, appropriately, but nothing bad. It doesn't have to be chaperoned as long as everything is going okay. But I think it's really important, even 3 times a week, so that they can reach out to others, because they all have to be feeling anxiety, and I don't know if I would classify it as anxiety. I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just saying they all have to be feeling anxious. I mean, I know that today I'm home and I'm on the computer. I'm trying to clean up my house. I'm doing my laundry. I'm doing everything, so everything will be ready for tomorrow, so I can just get up. I walk in the morning, so I could walk and then be right in school by 8 o'clock, so that I could go in and have 45 minutes to go over what I need to try to do, because I have no idea how it's going to work.
Are they getting everything they need? Because in my case, in a lot of cases, there's shortened days, shortened periods, and there's going to be hustle and bustle in a hallway trying to get everybody one way or another. Classes are already shortened, days are shortened. What happens there, and what do we do best to supplement what I think a lot of people think they're missing?
I mean, for some, and it's a small percentage, those are the real self-starters, and that's the great thing, because a lot of children are. But the ones that need the help have to be advocates for themselves, and really need to make sure that not only are they in school and it's a shortened day, but then they have to come home and then get back on and go into all the different links with all the different classrooms, because the teachers have office hours. So if a teacher gets to know your child, and not, like, they can't get on and say I can't do it. They have to go on and say I'm having difficulty with numerators and denominators and fractions. I mean, like, something specific. Just I don't know how to do it. That doesn't work. If you go into your ELA teacher and say I really had a hard time understanding um, the plot twist and how it came to the ending, that, like, and you're telling me to change the ending, like, I need to know where that change occurred. So I'm the kids that are so used to being spoon fed in elementary school really have to get up a notch and go to that extra step, where that's, I don't know if they have to discuss it necessarily with their parents, and I don't know how much parents have time to do that with their kids, because they're working as well. But they need to even discuss it with the other children that are in their grades, that they could be friends with, that they could just have a book talk. Like, we all, like, as adults, read books and then get together as a book talk. They could do that and just discuss it. It might be a good idea just to have a discussion.
No, that's a really
So
good point about kids being advocates for themselves, because I think a lot of them, like, they tend not to want to speak up, and it's hard to raise your hand even, like, physically, and then I think it's harder in a Google Meet or a Zoom scenario to hit the button, like, raise your hand, hope that
exactly.
someone finds you. So I guess, do office hours and after school kind of support become more important these days?
I don't know that they become more important. I just believe that they need to take advantage of it.
Okay.
And I think that it's a really important thing for the teachers to see that the children are interested and that they care about their results and they care about learning, and that as hard as this is for the children, it's just as hard for the teachers and it's just as hard for the parents. So the children have to kick it up a notch and show the teachers that they really care about this. I mean, it's everybody in the entire world that's going to be at a deficit this year. So everybody's going to be a little bit behind. However, everybody can learn, and there's different ways to, I mean, like, we didn't know now that there's 7 different intelligences that we should be taking advantage of, and that I'm sure that there's even more now because now there's more with computers. So it's really important that everybody can like really be their own advocate and really go after everybody and really like speak to their kids their own age and parents and have discussions with teachers and go on everybody's office hours because I think it's really important. Um, and after school, not after school, but like do the outdoors while they can. Like definitely go for a walk, definitely breathe in the fresh air, sit outside and do your homework. Just because.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think, physical activity, because that I don't know what PE looks like for these kids. No
Exactly.
idea. And how important, because I know you teach elementary school, and, they're sitting in a room, for quite a long time. I mean, I guess it's pretty important to get up and move, jumping jacks or whatever, right? I mean,
Right.
They've got to integrate some kind of physical activity.
Right, but we can't, like, in elementary school, they're getting a half-hour snack where they get if it's nice, they'll take them outside for snack. And so they'll eat, they'll go, they'll wash their hands, they'll be able to walk around and they'll be able to eat for 10 minutes and then come back and wash their hands again and put on their mask. It's just to give them some activity, but it's not them switching classes anymore either. Like in the middle school, it's still the kids switching classes, but
Yeah.
in elementary school, it's the teachers, if we switch classes, that we're switching, not the kids.
And how do you feel this year? You and I have talked about it, about like connection with the kids. Is that going to be just really, really difficult? And what are you guys doing to try to bridge the gap that you have naturally because the kids are not there all the time?
We're starting. I mean, at least I am. I'm starting the whole first week with different icebreakers, and we're gonna put on apps and extensions and things on our Chromebooks together. So I make sure everybody has it. I might show a couple of YouTubes to show what I expect, what they have to hand in, and how to upload a photo and things like. I'm trying to predict all the different things that might happen where they say I can't hand it in or I don't know how to. I'm going to try to do that first because I don't know how to either. So I understand that, and I'm totally accustomed to understanding, and that's, I just don't want to let it go so far, but I really want it to be that the kids know that they can talk to me, that I won't bite their heads off. Um, Honestly, the biggest reward for me is the children. So, I mean, now my kids I mean, I've been teaching 27 years, so I'm still friends with those children. So it's not friends. I mean, but those kids have kids now. So it's what I do and that's why I do this. If it comes to the point where we're going to be completely online and not have teachers, I don't know if that's the right career for me anymore.
I'm gonna remain an optimist and hope that they actually do go back full time, or that there's some kind of scenario that allows us to be a little bit more normal. Are you concerned? Are you worried about going back to school?
I'm not I thought I'd be much more concerned because I am immune compromised. So I am a little nervous, but I'm also, this has been since March and I really haven't been out of my house much and I really haven't done a whole lot. And I'm part of it. I'm thinking that I have to live and I have to do my job and I want to be with the children. And if everybody wears their masks and we all wash our hands and the parents take their temperatures and do the things that they're supposed to do, and I do the things that I'm supposed to do, that if I get COVID, which I hope I don't, but if I do, I might be sicker, yes, but I mean, there's not much that I can stop. So I'll wash my hands and I will use clean silverware and I'll clean my desks as much as I can. But besides that, there's not a whole lot that I can do. Besides that, I just have to have faith.
No, but you're ready to go back. I think like as a parent, like, I kind of was alluding to this before, nobody wants to be too invasive. And I know these kids are under a lot of stress anyway. Is like, giving them a couple hours and then is like dinner time a good time to decompress? Like what works best in this scenario? Because they're going to be flustered and they're, right after school is probably difficult too. I mean, like give them a little time, do homework, and then kind of reassess the day, or what would you recommend just to take the edge off, because this is hard.
I think that for me, I mean, again, these children are much more accustomed to the computers and the phones. So for me, I would need to take a break whenever I can from the computer and go out, get some fresh air and walk. If you think that your children is totally embracing it and totally involved, then keep going. But I would give them a break before doing homework while it's still light out and while you can. And if you need to go somewhere or just to go out for a walk, or go, if you have a pool and you want to go take a dip, if you can, like whatever you can, just to give them a complete break. As long as they can come back to it. Some children are just better off going through it. Some people just might need to socialize. So maybe you want to have a Zoom at 4:00 or 3. Like when you guys get out of school, like, you'll be done at 3. So you could have a 3:00 Zoom with friends, or they could meet at, on the parking lot of one of the schools, so they could ride around for a little bit on bicycles or something. Yeah. But it might be a good idea, like as it gets cooler, to have a Zoom where they can all talk about their day, how crazy it was, and now they don't understand with this or that. So that might be worth it. I mean, it might make them all feel better if they don't all understand it, or it might make some of them feel empowered that they can explain it.
Strength in numbers, and then they're not doing activities either. Most of them, you're doing some, but they're not like they were. Like some of them used to just end school, maybe not see each other, but then they'd see each other at lacrosse or soccer or whatever the case may be. And a lot of that stuff isn't quite what it was before either. Correct. So they don't have that outlet either.
It's really important just to make sure that they feel good. I mean, I know that in my class, one of the techniques that I always use is I try to explain something and I give it 2 or 3 more times after I've done it the first time. And if I still see a few kids that don't understand it, I'm like, all right, somebody, kid language, anybody understand it that they think they can explain it? And they do. And they get it. So it's not that I want to make it immature. I just want them to see it from a child's point of view as opposed to mine.
Yeah, so it's just very demanding. It's almost like a job, like an office job that kids have now instead of school, checking in mandates on things that they have to do online and stuff. And that's confusing. And the last question, I think, a lot of us were more lenient last year because A, we were too busy. We just didn't get what they were doing. B, we didn't understand. And I don't think a lot of school districts understood the curriculum and how to present it. It's going to be different now. I mean, I think I'm going to have a heavier approach and a little bit more stricter approach, and not be so lenient because it counts now, right? I mean, I think that everything was almost like a pass, but this is serious, regardless of how it is. Like we go back, right? I mean, like the grades
go back. It's grades. It's the same everything, but now you should be used to Google Classroom from last year. Now you don't know Google Meet, but what I'm understanding is that it shouldn't be so different than Zoom, or at least it's live on the computer. So you can see each other. It might be different techniques. Like I'm going to have everybody download Nod, which is an extension on Google Meet, but it gives them different emojis to give me a thumbs up if they understand, to give me a sad face if they don't. I mean, as another thing, and just because of all the FERPA and HIPAA laws, that I can't call children's names on the technology, because then other people hear it, and not only the children, but their parents might be there or their work people, like they might. So I'm going to try to be as anonymous as possible.
All right. So we're all just going to dive into this together. We'll see how it goes. You and I started tomorrow, but some other people watching this have already been in this, and things have changed. So I guess it's going to be a work in progress, and there is no timeline. So it's not like we can wait for, you know, okay, maybe January. We did that last year and it didn't work, you know. So I guess we're in this for the long haul, and we'll keep checking in, and we'll have you back maybe like mid-year to see how it's all going.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye.